cabin attendants, armed doors, and cross-check. Welcome aboard Delta Airlines Flight 7673, departing from John F. Kennedy International Airport to Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Our estimated flight time is approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes. Please pay close attention to the following safety demonstration, as it contains important information for everyone, even for frequent flyers. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and pull the strap to tighten. To release, lift the buckle. Keep your seatbelt fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Please return your seat backs and tray tables to the upright position and open your window blinds for takeoff and landing. Mobile phones and electronic devices must be set to flight mode, and larger devices should be stored securely. Smoking, including cigarettes, is prohibited. Oxygen masks will drop automatically if needed. Hold the mask firmly, place it over your nose and mouth, and breathe normally. Secure your own mask before assisting others. Life vests are located under your seat. To use, pull it over your head, fasten it, and inflate it only after leaving the aircraft. Floor-level lighting will guide you to the nearest exit, which may be behind you. In case of evacuation, leave all personal belongings behind and follow crew instructions immediately. If any electronic device becomes hot or catches fire, inform the crew right away. The safety information card in your seat pocket contains all details. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the flight.
All right, this could go either way today. We are in JFK in lovely New York City, and the goal is to fly to Charlotte. And our flight plan's loaded. We pulled a flight plan from SimBrief, so we have most everything we need for this flight, except a competent pilot. So this will be my second flight ever. Most pilots have, yeah, you know what? If you like do change training, when you do difference training, you're going to spend a month learning an aircraft like this. But so this could be very interesting today. The Airbus A350 made by Flight Factor Aero. It was a partner project between them and Thales. So anyone who's flown the Thales aircraft would love it. There's some things about the A350 that kind of threw me. One of which was there is a lot of mouse-driven controls. And when I say mouse-driven, I mean you're using a mouse to control the pieces or like configurations in the aircraft. So that part there threw me a little bit. Let's go ahead and get our basic numbers. Let's do what I'd normally do on a flight beforehand to make sure we know what's what. So we're at KJFK. We're going to be going out, if all goes as planned, on runway 04 left. We will. We're QNH currently in New York City is 30.00. We have a few clouds right now. Their takeoff winds are, it says here about from 310 degrees at 11 knots. A few clouds. It's going to be a beautiful day. Temperature currently is -2 Celsius. And humidity is at about 43%. Sea level pressure of 1015 and HPA hourly temperature of -2.2. And so it's rough. It's a cold, brisk day here, but should not be an issue for this aircraft. I write those numbers down because I'll need to enter them shortly here. So we've got those numbers. Let's get inside the. Let's take a quick look outside. See if we see everything going. So we see our crews hard at work. Bus is eagerly awaiting passengers. We see cleaner vehicles here, and fuel is preparing to be loaded. Okay, let's get in the cockpit. First, what I've already done before y'all got here is we have a GPU. We're hooked up to the GPU. Let me see here. I don't want to act like I know what I'm doing when I don't. That annoying noise you hear, I'm not going to be able to make go away. It's just annoying. Something's rattling. We're going to put the wireless on. SATCOM. Landing camera doesn't work on this. I've already started the navs. They were all at off position. They're now at the nav position. And Captain Purser, you want that at Captain Purser there? We don't need hydraulics yet. You see fuel's already, let's see, let's do our fuel. We're not doing fuel yet. And all the batteries I've already turned on. We're going to go ahead and turn these switches on. Generators won't work right now, but we're going to go ahead and put them in the on position. And the bus tie, we're going to hit on auto to the bus tie. We're on external power right now. Both are going. Packs can stay in the. Look, you know what? Passengers need to be comfortable, so we'll leave them in the on position, but they have to go off when we start the engines. Engine bleed on, yes. Hot air, yes. Right. Anything here? Basically, you want a dark cockpit. You want all the switches dark. You want, which means we're in good shape. Beacon on. Nav. Anything I'm doing right now, by the way, don't go look in a handbook for an airline. It's not necessarily going to be right. It won't line up. Okay. Smoking light always stays on the on position, and the emergency exit lights to the arm position. Right. Let's check one more row over here. Cargo valves, we want, I'm just putting them in the on position. They will fault out right now. NSS, ground hydraulics, vents, okay. Outside, a lot of activities you saw was happening, but we need to put in some information from the flight plan on fuel. So let's go to the aircraft. Okay. Airplane, passengers. What is our passenger load today? By the way, you can really mess up the center of gravity if you do this wrong. Trust me, I've done it. I mean, you can actually make the nose go up because you've got the center of gravity off. It's awful. Green potato, bear with me if I'm task saturated because I don't know what I'm doing today. Right. So, but let me see. We're going to see if we can get this thing set up. Right, so for passengers, it says we have a total of 315, and our center of gravity is everything on this, so we're going to see if we fill up this aircraft, if we can keep the center of gravity where it should be. I can literally ruin it real quick to the point that the front nose comes up. It's awful. We'll see what happens if I fill the plane up. So let's see, we got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So let's fill up these. In the first class, let's put 20 people. In business class, we can carry up to 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36 people. So why don't we put 36 in business class? And economy class, see how many we can hold. I mean, I wish I had somewhere I could just put the max number, but I'm having to enter these like one by one. Let's see if we can make it work. Let's see here. Okay. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is really scientific, isn't it? Okay, so that's 22 rows. Is that 22 rows? There's 22 rows there. And rows go 9 across. What? Let's see what we're gonna try to fill this up. Alright, so we have 9. If you want to do some math for me there, green potato, you're right ahead. But so 9 rows, and it's really not 22, is it? Let me see. If we go 9 times 21, that's about, good gracious, that can't be right. So 3699. The 22 rows and there's 9 per row, but that's not exactly right. How can that be possible? Because let's try it. Let's see what happens if I do this. If I put 288 here, I don't think it'll take it. Our center of gravity right there, you see what that says? It says 57, or no, our zero fuel center of gravity is 57%. It is so off right now. So that's not going to work. How about if I go 100? That 37% still, it's a really high center of gravity. But the question is, can I level it out with cargo? Like if I start putting cargo in. So let's see. I can. See, now I see, okay, let's see, see if we can make this work. So 6. So right now we're we're center of gravity of 7%. Now let's go back to our passenger load. And our zero fuel, our center of gravity is still manageable right now, it looks like. So let's see. Alright, I think we're getting somewhere. We may spend more time on the ground. So 315 is our passenger load. So here's what I'm going to do. 315. So I'm going to put 259 passengers back here. And we're going to see what fuel does to our center of gravity also, because we're at 14%. I think we can actually put some more cargo. Alright, that looks good. And I'm going to implement this. Invalid fuel configuration, passenger and cargo not loaded. Okay. Total number of passengers. 258. Okay, so right now it's telling me my configuration's invalid. Even though we're at 20% zero fuel weight. You want to give me some input here, Millie? So I'm loading our passengers, trying to do our passenger load and cargo, and I'm getting an invalid configuration on the A350. Give me some ideas what I can check.
For the A350's invalid configuration, check the following. 1. Ensure that the cargo doors are fully closed and latched. 2. Verify that the passenger loading bridge is properly connected and not obstructing any sensors. 3. Check the weight and balance calculations to ensure they are within limits. 4. Look at the aircraft's load sheet for any discrepancies. If everything seems fine, a system reset might help. You've got this.
She, so encouraging, make it sound like I know what I'm doing. Right. Let me see here. Let's go back to passengers. Okay. Well, I haven't even put our crew down yet, so we have a crew of 10. I've got 20 in first class, 36 in business, 258. And it doesn't seem like that. I want to start backing off on the... no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to leave that up. Alright, so estimated is 180, max is 207. We're under that. We're at 192.4, but we have not loaded fuel yet. Let's go here. Our destination fuel is 7136. Alternates 2444. Contingency is 1363. APU time 15. Taxi time is 20 minutes. Our block fuel is 13,605 kilograms. Right, fuel is loaded. It's not going to let me load because our configuration. Okay, so we have, I think our passenger load is where it should be, so I'm going to start taking off cargo. Alright, this is not working. Our distribution's not working. Do we need to kick off passengers? We do. So we had to kick off passengers. All right. Fuel loaded, passengers are loaded. Alright, before we do anything else, we're going to go ahead and start the APU. So APU is on its way up. Right, so we're going to open up the APU bleed and go to the APU bus. And that annoying noise will never go away. Okay. Let's get these going. We want cabin, PA, intercom, and our radio active. Nigel, can you get our IFR clearance?
I'll get our IFR clearance sorted, Steve.
Stairs are going away, the bus is driving away, fuel's on, loaders, everything off. That's the first part of this, and it did take me a minute to realize that the FMS might be easier than I suspected when I first started trying it. It was kind of confusing, but it's not as confusing as I thought. So. Okay. Alright. And you've noticed the kind of integration between Talus and Flight Factor. You can see it's kind of obvious, kind of easy to see. Okay. My volumes aren't up. Okay. Let's start with flight plan. See, initiate. And I think it actually is going to make it a little easy. Yeah, because I've already downloaded it, so I think I should be able to click my way through this. So, company flight plan request.
I have nothing to say, sir. Is there anything you want?
Okay, that's us. So let me see here, Dallas. KJFK to KCLT. Cruise is 540, 40,000, 400, triple ends. It's already got entered. Great. So that part's already entered in the system. IRS. We'll hit a line for IRS. You're gonna annoy the heck out of me.
Captain, do you really want the passengers to plunk out their eyes? Oh dear God, leave me alone.
You think you got the point? Yeah. Alright, let's return. Okay, so we've got IRS information entered. How about departure? So we're going to go runway 04 left. We're leaving out on SID. Let's see. Hold on. JFK 5. And we don't have a transition. Do that again. Did it take? It did take, didn't it? 4 left. Okay, took that. Okay. I'll work on the discontinuity in a minute. Try not to get myself focused on it. This is where I flounder around a little bit. We'll figure it out. Let's see if I'm doing this right. So I'm going to click on, if I click on CLT, KCLT, I get tell it arrival. Okay. We'll see if this is the right way. But like I said, some of this I've done once or twice, so it's very unfamiliar. So 18 Charlie. Let's see, and Chisley 6. Oh, ILS is 18 Charlie via. Hold on, do the Aero first. Chisley. Transition is Aero. And my via. Let's see if I can get a via. Jetco. That's correct. And we're going to insert that. Let's go back up to the top. There we go, KJFK. So right here, this one, or actually go to the manual, my fault. Manual, I can delete, and then this discontinuity, I can delete. Okay, so it just goes away. And let's arrow down. And same here. So if I click on this and hit delete, and click on the discontinuity and tell it delete, it should go away. And the plan. Okay, and we'll watch it in the plan before we take off. We'll check it out. So performance. I do like it. Does seem like they're like one by one doing it, bringing it down one by one. Okay. I do have a performance calculator, I think, here. So our flap setting is going to be 1. I don't have runway slope, I'm sorry. I just don't. So here's what it says. It's giving me a flex. It's giving, first of all, 373740. Flaps are going to be at 1. Thrust for this takeoff is flex temp. Okay, we're going to do a flex takeoff. If I'm doing this right. So I put flex temp in of 70 here. Millie, I'm working on our performance for takeoff. In the flex temp section, when I have a choice of toga or flex, do I put my flex temp in there of 70?
Yes, when you're using flex temperature for takeoff, you should enter your flex temp of 7070 into the TOCA section. This will allow the engines to produce the desired thrust while managing temperature limits effectively. Great job focusing on performance calculations.
Why, thank you. Okay. Alright, so everything looks good there. 137, 137, 140. And our climb. So we'll climb out. Our CI, by the way, really? 15? Okay. Is 235 knots. Do not have noise abatement here, but I think our approach, our takeoff actually kind of in and of itself is noise abatement. Our descent is it economy 280. We're gonna put 280 for descent. I prefer 280. Our cruise. Is that slow? Is that kind of slow speed of our our pre-selected cruise? Millie does a pre-selected cruise, like in the section. I'm in the section for cruise now. Does 235 knots sound slow for cruise? It's like got pre-select.
For cruise, 235 knots can be on the slower side depending on your altitude and aircraft configuration. Typically, you'd want to be closer to 250 to 300 knots for optimal cruise performance. Make sure your autopilot is set correctly and that you're in the right configuration for cruise. If you're in a climb or descent, adjust accordingly.
Okay.
You got this.
Alright, I see. But so I'm thinking our economy is 290 knots. Descent cabin rate 350 feet per minute. It's kind of slow, but hey, that's alright. Transitions 180. Our approach here. This is I don't know if I'm supposed to wait to do this next part, but I have the numbers here, and they could change a little bit. But here, and web solution. Hello. So we're going to go to our arrival information. Look at our cruise winds. Okay, 3. QNH is 3024. Our winds are from 210 at 6 knots. Okay. And we'll be at full config. At 136. Okay. Go around set. We're not worried about that. I don't think we're good. Okay. Numbers are entered. I think we're okay. Right, we're still on the APU. We burned up a little bit in our setup there, but that's alright. Nigel, you're in charge of all comms.
I'm only rated to handle IFR-related comms for now, Steve.
Nigel, get our IFR clearance.
I'll get our IFR clearance sorted, Steve.
I may need to help him along here. JFK departure, Delta 7673, ready to pick up our IFR clearance to Charlotte.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Delta 7673 Heavy, Kennedy departure, cleared to Charlotte. Radar vectors, Robbinsville. When is filed. Climb and maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 40010 minutes after departure. Departure on 135.9 or squawk 4373.
Okay. Nigel, you're in charge of all comms.
I'll take over the comms, Steve.
And Nigel, get our pushback and start clearance.
I'll get our pushback and start clearance sorted, Steve.
Kennedy ground, Delta 7673 Heavy, requesting clearance for pushback and engine start.
Delta 7673 Heavy, pushback and engine start approved. Tail southwest.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, we're going to need to turn PAX to the off position for takeoff. And hydraulics all on.
Captain, do you really want the passengers to plunk out their eyes? Please turn on the cabin lighting.
He's fussing at me because there's no cabin lighting.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
I think it's a little overly dramatic, though, considering it's daytime. They're not going to pluck out their eyes yet. Carrying over 300 passengers. In fact, one of the things I want to do before we get really getting going here, we need to get souls on board. Yes, I know it sounds crazy.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
This much just for takeoff, yeah.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, ignition's on. Yeah, so just to take off. Yeah, everything I just did. Although I did do roundabout in some ways is necessary for takeoff. Yeah. Right. Engine 2's coming up. What do we say? QNH is 3000 here. Yeah, just for takeoff in the A350, and some of, I'm making it look a lot harder. Okay, it is hard either way, but all the steps I'm taking, I'm not cutting corners. Yeah, are required. Okay, engine 2 is at idle.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Packs can come back on in just a moment, and then the blade can go off.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Of all the Airbuses, I wish it was that simple. Yeah, but everything's kind of a little bit in a different place on this one from the A321 to A330, but I think I could get used to the web interface, because the way I click on things with the mouse is how the actual
Ladies and
aircraft
gentlemen,
works.
buongiorno. This is Mario Valentini, your purser for today. Welcoming you aboard the Delta Airlines flight
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed.
departing from John
Hand
F.
signal on the right.
Kennedy
We'll see you next time,
International
and have a safe flight.
to beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Please take your seats according to your boarding passes and stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seats in front of you. If you need any assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to any of our friendly crew members. We're here to make your flight as enjoyable as possible. Thank you for choosing Delta, and let's have a fantastic flight together.
Okay. The secret to a happy overhead is everything's off. Bleed's off too. So. Alright. Nigel, can you get our taxi clearance to runway 04 left?
I'll get our taxi clearance to runway 04 left, Steve.
Okay, so the story behind the hat, and just so there's no
Kennedy
confusion.
Ground, Delta 7673 Heavy.
tell you in a minute.
Requesting taxi clearance to runway 04 left. We have information Whiskey and Kilo.
Delta 7673 Heavy, runway 4 left taxi via Alpha 1, Alpha, Kilo, hold short of runway 31 left, then Kilo 1.
So, just so there's no confusion, I am not
Runway 4
an
left,
airline
Alpha
pilot.
1, Alpha, Kilo, hold
and
short
I'm
of runway
definitely not a
31
captain.
left, then Kilo 1. Delta 7673 Heavy.
For my Christmas birthday, my brother found ended up having to find this, took quite a bit, but found me an American Airlines captain's hat, and thrilled as I may be, I'm probably lacking about 7,000 hours to get that hat. Okay, but I digress. Right, let's hit the runway. I have not been using heavily some instructions that I had, but on this screen to my right, this one, I actually have instructions, like normal my procedures in general. Like right now we're taxiing, so I have that, but I also have a menu for instructions in case. It'll take you some time to learn everything, but you could actually use the instructions and learn quite a bit on the checklist. So. All right. So we'll do some things while we're taxiing. One is we'll set our flaps are going to be set to 1. I don't like where my seat is on this aircraft. I backed up a little bit. We're going to arm the speed brakes. I think it's armed, yeah. I know you're wondering if we were ever going to get off the ground. Okay, I'm still not giving you a guarantee that it'll be a pretty landing. I'm not. I'm sure no one's going to hang out just for the cruise part. After the climb, flight itself's not terribly long, by the way. What's that message? Oh, speed brake was armed when I used the brakes. Oh. to leave it unarmed until we get to the runway. Yeah, this aircraft probably the biggest thing. Like I said, it's a learning curve. When I first learned the 737-800, and I had a lot of experiences like what I'm having right now. It takes you a while to get used to things, and then after it becomes second nature, then you don't think about it as much anymore. But it takes a while. Yeah, web solution. You just want to get in the driver's seat and hit the ignition, don't you? No problem with that.
Delta 7673 Heavy, cross runway 31 left, then continue taxi via Kilo 1.
You're a little late.
Cross runway 31 left, continue via Kilo 1. Delta 7673 Heavy.
Just for the proverbial record, I'm really supposed to stop and wait, and usually they'll catch you before you hit the runway, but the crossing one, but you need to wait. Don't just go. That aircraft around here. I really enjoy Traffic Global, but to enjoy this aircraft, I have to leave off Traffic Global. So if you wonder why there's not more planes around, that's why. I need all the resources. Okay. Turn the ignition off. There's one thing I'm looking for right now. That's the predictive wind shear is off right now, because I don't know where it is on this aircraft. Check our takeoff config. It says we got good messages, but GPWS. Millie, do you know where GPWS is on this aircraft?
The GPWS, or Ground Proximity Warning System, is typically integrated into the aircraft's avionics suite. On the A350, you can usually find the GPWS controls and indicators on the overhead panel or the center console, depending on the specific configuration. It's crucial for preventing controlled flight into terrain, so make sure you're familiar with its operation. You've got this.
You see what I just did? I had the brakes off for a minute. I'm going to put myself back. That was stupid. You see what I just did? I thought I hit brake, I hit brake, it didn't take. And so I ended up close to the water. I think I was able to salvage it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was not good. Did you see what I just did? Yeah, nothing like, you know, ladies and gentlemen, your pilots on the job training right now. Hang tight. We'll see if we make it. Okay. Millie, say that about the predictive wind shear again, where it is.
The predictive wind shear system is typically located in the aircraft's avionics suite, often integrated with the weather radar. It provides alerts for potential wind shear conditions ahead, helping you make informed decisions during takeoff and landing. It's crucial to monitor this system, especially in turbulent weather. You're doing great.
Alright, I see my weather. We're gonna survive without predictive wind shear. I'm not gonna sit here and flounder to find it. It's somewhere right in front of us. If you see it before I do, feel free to holler at me, but I don't see it. Let's see if it's just integrated here. No, we're squawking though, and our TCAS is on. That's more important anyway. Alright, sorry guys. Yeah, I'm really... Right, last steps before we take off is, let's see, APU should be off, landing lights should be on, and those wheel lights, strobe should be going. Chronometer should be reset. I like having, this is something, this is the way Flight Factor does it. You have to move it like this. I like it when you can just scroll to make the size what you want, but I like having that close by and a bigger view of my speed and my altitude. Okay. Right. So all that's set. Flaps are set. And Nigel, do the takeoff briefing. Yeah, I need a... Yeah, we about needed life jackets, didn't we?
Here's the takeoff briefing, Steve. We're departing from runway 4 left, flying the departure as filed, climbing initially to 5,000 feet. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet. Weather looks clear. In case of engine failure below 400 feet, we'll continue straight. Above 400 feet, follow the engine out SID. For emergencies before V1, we'll reject takeoff. After V1, continue and handle the emergency. Squawk 4,373, departure frequency 135.9er, flaps 5 for takeoff. V1 is 142 knots, VR 147 knots, V2 152 knots. Ready to go when you are.
Okay, Nigel, can you get our takeoff clearance? You thought it would never happen, did you?
I'll get our takeoff clearance, Steve.
Kennedy Tower, Delta 7673 Heavy, holding short of runway 4 left, ready to depart.
Delta 7673 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, runway 4 left, winds 340 at 13 gusting 22. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Yeah, that was a lot of work.
Runway 4 left, runway heading, cleared for takeoff, Delta 7673 Heavy.
Alright. Straighten up here. This, by the way, this particular aircraft kind of old in the Xplane world. Right, forward. We're waiting for an indicator. We're in flex mode. There we go. I have a heavy pull to the left. Real heavy. Forward pressure on the yoke. Rotate. No more than about 10 degrees, positive rate, and gear up. Okay, we'll go a little lower.
Delta 7673 Heavy, contact departure on 135.9er.
Switching to departure on 135.9, Delta 7673 Heavy. Kennedy departure, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon, climbing through 500.
Delta 7673 Heavy, Kennedy departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 340. Turn left heading 205. Vectors to Robbinsville, then on course.
Climb and maintain flight level 340. Left heading 205 for vectors to RBV, then on course. Delta 7673 Heavy.
Okay. I know.
Delta 7673 Heavy, contact New York approach on 125.7.
She sounds rather pitiful.
Contacting New York approach on 125.7. Delta 7673 Heavy.
Okay, we're heading to RBV now, I think, so we're on course right now. Let me double check. That's what I'm looking at, where I know that I'm going to RBV.
New York approach, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon, 4000 for flight level 340.
Delta 7673 Heavy, New York approach. Good afternoon, New York altimeter 29er.
See if
Altimeter
I'm going the right way.
29er. Delta 7673 Heavy.
Yeah, looks like he's turning. That's his turn is to set up for RBV, and we're heading to RBV. Yeah. He's on course. Good job. Good job. So the flight plan's working right now. The autopilot's working.
Delta 7673 Heavy, direct Robbinsville, then as filed, please.
I think you might have forgotten about the cabin safety routine.
Maybe I did. Okay. Okay, so runway lights off, landing lights off, and nose light off. Okay. Those are off on top. And what he's fussing at me for is he wants
Dear
to do
guests, the lavatories
briefing.
are now available for your convenience. You may also use approved electronic devices in flight mode. Our cabin service will begin shortly, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Thank you for choosing Delta Airlines.
Alright, so I'll let the other guy, which is the onboard cabin guy from A350, let him do his thing.
Would like to welcome you on board this Airbus A350. If you haven't already done so, please
Right, so we're climbing up.
underneath the seat in front of you.
What do you want now?
The flight crew will do everything possible to make your flight comfortable and enjoyable. Xplane.org. One signal
All right, the next flight phase will be a 18,000 to standard for altimeter. And we keep climbing. It's a nice looking livery, by the way. So recap is the story on the Aero Flight Factor Aero A350-900 Airbus is it was a project or something that Flight Factor and Thales worked on together, and they put together this aircraft, so it's not that bad.
Sir, shouldn't I start the cabin safety demonstration?
You did. Now he's getting forgetful. How about this? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we request your full attention as the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft.
Right.
When the seat belt sign illuminates, you must fasten
Altimeter to standard.
the metal fittings one into the other and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seat.
That's a nice looking livery. Just nice. You just might. There's a high likely. No, it's. Well, I got bad news for you. Okay, so there are a lot of lakes around Charlotte, but a lot of nice lakes actually around Charlotte. But yeah, it's not at the lake. Yeah. So I will say this. I always say that the more time you spend on the ground, the less time you spend guessing in the air. So I think that's where we are right now. We're in pretty good shape.
Delta 7673 Heavy, contact New York Center on 118.9 or 75.
Switching to New York Center on 118.975. Delta 7673 Heavy.
I'm going to ask Millie about
New
something.
York Center, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon. Climbing through flight level 230 for flight level 340.
Delta 7673 Heavy, New York Center, climb and maintain flight level 340.
340.
Climb and maintain flight level 340, Delta 7673 Heavy.
Millie, I have a question for you.
I'm here to help. What's your question?
On the A350-900 Airbus, do I have to manually enter the frequency in for the ILS into the into the system? I noticed there's a place for me to enter it in the nav.
Yes, on the A350-900, you need to manually enter the ILS frequency into the nav system. For example, if you're approaching runway 18 center at Charlotte, you would enter the ILS frequency for that runway, which is typically found in your approach charts. Make sure to verify that the frequency is set correctly to ensure a smooth approach.
Okay, did you hear that? That's what's different about it from the A330, A321, or the A320. This is the A350 is larger,
Delta
but a little bit
76,
older, I think.
73 Heavy, climb and maintain flight level 400.
Climb and maintain flight level 400. Delta 7673 Heavy.
So we're going to manually enter it, which is not a big deal. I've got charts up here. Let's pull the chart up. So ILS 18 left. Here's what it says. First of all, the course heading for the runway is final approach course is 183. So I want to highlight 83. Okay. And the frequency for the ILS is 110.35. 110.35. Okay. And I did notice too where there's a switch here to go into the different modes. And Millie, also there's a dial that you can dial the ILS on the nav. Is that something I need to make sure it's on the ILS setting for approach?
Yes, you need to ensure that the nav dial is set to the ILS frequency for your approach. This will allow the aircraft to capture the ILS signals for a precise landing. Make sure to double check that it's correctly tuned before you start your descent.
That would also explain why I had issues on approaching JFK. That's a flight that y'all didn't see, but I ended up having to manually come in on that. Okay. All right. Alright, so where we are right now is 415 miles outside of Charlotte. We'll be in cruise for a while. We're at 310. We're climbed at 400. And I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign off and let my flight attendants kind of monitor that. And we're going to give it about 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and do anything we have to prepare for approach, for descent and approach. All right. So go get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Delta 7673 73 Heavy, contact Washington Center on 132.525.
Contacting Washington Center on 132.525. Delta 7673 Heavy. Washington Center, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon, climbing through flight level 340 for flight level 400.
Delta 7673 Heavy, Washington Center. Good afternoon.
Okay, let's go back to the cabin and let y'all see a little bit of what it looks like back there. Now somebody, I don't know what they were thinking, but you notice a problem with that? Not sure whose bright idea it was to put it on backwards, but maybe if you could watch it through the headrest, you could see it. Some things that don't work back here in hold on. What just happened? Something happened. I just did something. I may have hit a button or something I shouldn't have. Let me check and see what I messed up. I went to idle thrust.
Delta 76 73 Heavy, contact New York Center on 135.45.
Contacting New York Center on 135.45. Delta 7673 Heavy. New York Center, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon. Climbing through flight level 330 for flight level 400. Delta 7673 Heavy, New York Center. Good afternoon.
I knocked off the auto throttle with a button combination on the keyboard just then. I had to go back and figure out what I messed up. That would have been really bad. I think we've got it figured out. Yeah. Okay, we should be back on correct speed, climb. Ooh, that was bonehead. Okay, I think we figured it out. So now we're back to climb. Are coming up to our altitude. I must have somehow knocked auto throttle off, and when I did, throttles came back, and then it just started falling out of the sky for a minute. Hate it when that happens. You almost needed that parachute. Okay. Right, we are going to knock off the cabin lock and open it. We're going to go back this way. Oh. There's something else I have to do to make it work. Let me see. Open. See what we got here. We've got the seats for the cabin crew, a door that as far as I know doesn't actually function like this. So what's up here? The cabin crew. So, cabin crew area for sleeping on long trips. Strange people. Okay. Once again, doors don't work, so nothing really works in the cabin. Although I will say the cabin, actually, nice looking cabin. Do a good job on it. Did I just click something? I heard something click. Make sure I didn't mess up anything. No, but so cabin. I mean, just they did a good. It looks nice. It looks nice. I wonder if you can make the seats go away. Better try. Probably not. Well, let's see. And I see it's got a thing where it'll draw the pilots while you're outside of the aircraft. I'd rather have that. I have it set up for a time flow here of fast, so like when I go to align or do something, it doesn't take forever. And the difficulty level, I guess you can dumb it down a little bit and make it easier. Structural limits are real. Barrows are set right now at HPA. I may move it back to HG. But yeah, draw lines, flushing. I don't know what flushing is there. I don't know what it means. I think there's only one page for this. Okay. Right. So, how I got into Xplane was about a year and a half ago, around a year and a half ago. I started, I would watch a lot of the Flight Mentor Pilot, and Pilot Debrief. But I noticed the Mentor Pilot referred to Xplane a lot, and so I started up with Xplane 12, and I never really took the route where I learned how to fly the smaller aircraft, the Cessna. Like, I never did the actual conventional route where you worked your way up from smaller aircraft. I started with the 737-800 Zebo was a primary aircraft I would fly, and I just outright, like, for 36 months, flew it into the ground, literally, and learned the aircraft. It took a while. It took a lot of, like, frustrating moments where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, but eventually you get to where it starts making sense, and you just have a breakthrough, and you go, man, I think I can do this, and you begin to understand it. But I would say this, there are some awesome guys who spend a lot of time on these aircraft, on the YouTube channel, on their YouTube channels, and so you can trust a lot of these guys, like, to show you how to walk through the steps of flying the aircraft that are in an Xplane. So I would do that for one. Next, I would not jump around on like 3 or 4 different aircraft all the time, because it will just frustrate you. If you do a little bit here and a little bit there.
Delta 7673 Heavy, contact Washington Center on 134.5. Switching to Washington Center on 134.5. Delta 7673 Heavy.
Let him go through his stuff here.
Washington Center, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon, flight level 400.
Delta 7673 Heavy, Washington Center. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Dear
So,
guests, we are now cruising at a comfortable altitude.
sorry, my
The
guys
cabin
just
crew
want to talk.
will begin our
Give
snack
a
and
second.
beverage service shortly. I highly recommend trying our delicious Italian espresso or the classic Delta snack mix, both favorites among our passengers. After the service, we will also have selected items from the Delta shop available for you. Thank you for your attention, and enjoy the flight.
It's good. Hey, by the way, I love. This is why I love Say Intentions. It really adds, like, immersion, and all of this extra traffic that you're hearing going back and forth is all coming from Say Intentions, and that includes ATC, my co-pilot, and my cabin crew. Petar is his name, from Mentor Pilot, and he's been doing that channel for years, and he was a 737 pilot and knows what he's talking about. But I don't watch his channel as much to learn how to do Xplane as much as I just enjoy. He's one of the best storytellers that I've heard. He just knows how to tell a story and kind of put the background to it. He does good research, and so yeah, all of the stories he tells about the aircraft and the what happened, he does such a good job on it. But he's one. Pilot debrief is another, just that kind of does a good job. Dan Grider are just great guys that know a lot about aircraft, because they can kind of put the real true story to airplane crashes and what happens. So that's what I kind of like a combination. And then Q8 Pilot is the one he does a lot of how-tos, and I don't know how old Q8 Pilot is. And by the way, if you wonder about his name, Q8, his channel, he's from Kuwait. Get it? Q8. And but he does a good job at like tutorials, like showing you how to fly a particular aircraft. So he does a good job with that. And then you'll have some specialty guys that just like they spend a lot of time on the same aircraft and kind of focus on one aircraft, and that's good too. But when I was learning, I stuck to one aircraft, and I didn't go to the next one until I really had a good grasp of everything about that aircraft. Because if you just bounce around, you'll get all of the ways it flies all screwed up. It'll just get all messed up in your head. Unless you've got one of those brains that can do that. Not me. We're on 282 miles outside, and I've already set up some things. Let's pull this up. See if I need to check anything on the airplane side. Performance. Top. Ask for takeoff. I don't think I need that. I think I need this. Descent. So our descent is set for economy descent at 280 knots. Stepping down. Descent rate of roughly 350 feet per minute. This is just a nice cabin. I don't freak the customers out, or the passengers out, and make them feel like they're on a roller coaster. So that looks good. For approach, winds look like they're at about 210 at 6 knots. Temp in Charlotte currently is just a little above freezing, and I think I've got my QNH all messed up. Let me see if I can fix that. I did. I had it all messed up. QNH, I had to change that in options. QNH in Charlotte is 3022. Well, let me do that 30.22. That's better. Okay. Flap configuration will be full with, will be at about 137 knots on arrival. And now that I know what I messed up on that earlier approach I did that y'all didn't see, I know how to set up the approach correctly. Okay. Okay. How's our fuel doing? Everything good? Yeah. And we've got plenty of time right now. Let me see. I don't see where I am. That's what earlier I was looking at. Okay, it's the Chisley 6 arrival. That's our arrival. Chili 6, they call it. See if there's anything I'm leaving out here. Okay. We may not have, I think we don't have to go past the airport and set up for approach. I think that's kind of cool. Do I have some discontinuities or am I just seeing things? Aero. Let me see. Check something. Right, we're coming down to Aero. That's where kind of our next waypoint starts this. Let me see.
Hey, Captain, First Officer. It's Mario Valentini here. Would you like anything to drink or a small snack? You know, I was just thinking, our in-flight meal options are so good. Even the pasta would be jealous of how well it's treated up here.
Alright, we pass Hams. Next waypoint is GVE. We got that. Then we hit Aero. Then we hit top. I think have we hit top of descent already? Anyway, so anyway, Chili 6 starts at Aero. That's our top of descent. Okay, so top of descent, Aero, Behemoth, BMO, Blue Jay, Burr, down to Modem. Dent. I see Blue Jay, Skiles, Burrow, Skiles, Dent. I'm following this. Boots, Chili, Chris. And now we're at the intersection of Node. This is where we make a turn. And there's Gila's. Yeah, Gila's. I see that. Then Jedco. And that takes us all the way in. We're in great shape. Okay. Alright. Unless something really blows up, I think we're set the way we're supposed to. Okay. Okay. Fuel? Oh, you have to remember that, don't you? That was so ugly. Alright, so, fuel. I'll go back here. Have to see if it's in here. Let's see. Hold on. Fuel and load. Okay. Good call though. That's a excellent call. Which I can see it over here too, I know. But we got 5,832 kilograms of fuel. Well, I'm sorry, we got a total of 7,100 kilograms of fuel remaining. And we're in great shape there. So we're good on fuel right now. That's yeah, that would be yeah, considering I ran out of gas on the way to the airport the other day. That was bad. Always check. Always check. Never trust. Always check. We're 209 miles out. I don't think they'll prompt us. I have it set up now in say intentions where they're not going to prompt us to say, hey, you're getting close. That's completely on us. So our top of descent is right before BMO. Putting that over to the side just so I can see it. So we're close. That looks really good. Alright, Nigel, do a descent and approach briefing for us, please.
Here's the descent and approach briefing, Steve. We'll be arriving in Charlotte on runway 18 center using the ILS approach. We'll be flying the Chile 6 arrival. Transition level is 18,000 feet. After the star, we'll intercept the ILS to runway 18 center. Weather at arrival shows winds 200 at 6 knots, few clouds at 8,000 feet, no significant weather expected. In the event of a missed approach, we'll follow the published missed approach procedure. For any abnormalities, we'll communicate with ATC and execute a go-around or missed approach as needed. Squawk code remains 4373, and approach frequency will be 125.35. We'll configure for landing with flaps 30. Final approach speed will be 135 knots. Once on the ground, we'll be taxiing to gate. Concourse B16X. I think we're ready for the arrival, Captain.
Yeah, $60 million glider. Yeah, I'm probably lowballing that. Okay. See how our distance is from, and so we're about 186 miles from Charlotte. Everything starts happening around the Aero waypoint, and we're not far from it. We're right around the corner from that one. I do want to see where I have the just the rough info about where I am and where I'm en route to. So there it is. Okay. All right. I'm good. So we're 34 nautical miles from Aero, and then Aero to BMO. So in this area is where we start descending. And we've been in the air for 47 minutes. All right. It is 2:20 p.m. here. What time is it there? I'm in the Eastern time zone of, I'm in North Carolina, so, which is funny because I'm landing in Charlotte. Nigel, what is our speed in knots and miles per hour?
Our speed is 473 knots, which is about 544 miles per hour.
Delta 7673 Heavy, contact Washington Center on 133.575.
Switching to Washington Center on 133.575. Delta 7673 Heavy. Washington Center, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon, flight level 400.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll hurry and try to get on the ground so you can get some sleep.
Delta 7673 Heavy, Washington Center. Good afternoon.
Delta 7673 Heavy, requesting clearance to start our descent on the Chile 6 arrival.
Delta 7673 Heavy, cleared Chile 6, Aero transition in Charlotte. When you're ready to begin your descent, descend and maintain flight level 290.
Cleared Chile. 6 Aero transition into Charlotte. Descend and maintain flight level 290 when ready. Delta 7673 Heavy.
We're starting our descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our descent toward Charlotte Douglas International Airport. At this time, we kindly ask everyone to return to your seats, stow your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. Please note that the use of lavatories is no longer permitted. Thank you for your cooperation as we prepare for landing.
Delta 7673 Heavy, descend and maintain flight level 220.
Descend and maintain flight level 220. Delta 7673 Heavy.
220. I do like this feature, which they've updated it, I guess, in the A350, but it gives me a like my descent angle, my glide path right here. So it gives you kind of a two-dimensional look at the glide path. So I like that. So you see that we're just kind of a slow, steady, not rushed descent. I'm not having to worry as much about like speeding up or like so things are better managed. It's easier to manage the speed. Not having to use air brakes or speed brakes. So. And we are about 145 miles outside of Charlotte on descent. We're at about 350.
Delta 7673 Heavy, descend and maintain 16,000 feet, altimeter 3024.
Descend and maintain 16,000 feet, altimeter 3024, Delta 7673 Heavy.
I'm making a note about our altimeter. It hasn't changed much from earlier, but 3024. Yeah, has a little bit. Would have to change it over for another 18,000 feet. So that's when we hit transition at 18,000. So. Okay, so it may have all the airports, but in some cases, the airports aren't as dressed up as they are on, say, Microsoft Flight Sim. So they're not quite as dressy at moments, but I always the primary airports that I land in are customized, and they have started customizing a lot, like putting a lot more custom work into the airports on Xplane to make them look more like they really look. It's not a matter of trying to add what's not there, but to just make them look more authentic. So they've been doing a better job at that lately. But Nimbus, some of these different companies create some really neat airports that you can add in with Xplane, and like the one that we're going into now, KCLT, is a custom airport, and what they've done in Nimbus is they've really authenticated this airport, and it looks just like
Captain,
it really does.
We have a situation in the cabin. A passenger has fainted due to low blood sugar. I believe they skipped breakfast and didn't have enough to eat before the flight. I'm attending to them now and will need assistance shortly.
We'll have medical personnel on the ground when we arrive. We'll be on the ground in about probably about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It's the quickest we can get on the ground, and we'll get them some assistance.
Understood, Captain. We will be ready for medical assistance upon arrival. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mario Valentini, your purser. We have begun our descent into Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Please ensure your seatbelts are fastened, your seat backs and tray tables are in their upright positions, and all carry-on luggage is stowed. We will be on the ground in approximately 20 to 25 minutes. Thank you for your cooperation.
Nigel,
Not clear what you said. Say again.
Nigel, have medical personnel waiting at the
Say
gate.
again, please.
Have medical personnel waiting at the gate when we arrive for
Can you
a passenger.
repeat that? I'm unable to arrange medical personnel at the gate, Steve. You'll need to contact the airline directly for that.
Nigel, would you let ATC know to have medical personnel at the gate waiting?
I'll inform ATC to have medical personnel waiting at the gate.
Indian airports.
Washington Center, Delta 7673. Heavy, we need medical personnel to meet us at the gate when we arrive.
Delta 7673, Heavy, roger. Medical personnel will be arranged to meet you at the gate.
Okay. I think that there are some Nimbus custom airports for some of the major cities in India. I think maybe I have one, but where to check for that is going to be on the Xplane.org forum, and they will let you know. It will either be in the store or once somebody's already worked on it, and I'm certain that someone has. By the way, I noticed now what I'm seeing is that my aircraft is following the flight plan, and where there is a air space or air like altitude restriction or something, it's following it. That's good. It's good to know that. And I see that there is. So there was a restriction that it needed to stop for, and then it continued. Also, it's following our speed, what it needs to be at for our speed, which it's doing a really good job right now. It's kind of following the flight plan. It's good. Low blood sugar. What they need is some chicken tikka masala. That'll fix them. Top two foods in my world, my favorite foods are Indian and Thai. And I could live off of chicken tikka masala. In fact, I wish I could get some today, but weather here, we have got about 10 inches of snow on the ground, which is odd for us, but so it's harder to get places. All right, we're speed's kind of holding where it needs to. We're at about 270 knots. Nearing our transition altitude, and it looks like our glide path, we're good. Look at that. Good job.
Delta 7673 Heavy, contact Atlanta Center on 124.425.
Switching to Atlanta Center on 124.425. Delta 7673 Heavy. Atlanta Center, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon, descending flight level 220 for 16,000.
Delta 7673 Heavy, Atlanta Center, descend and maintain 16,000.
Roll QNH is 3024 in Charlotte.
Descend and maintain 16,000. Delta 7673 Heavy.
Yes, seatbelts are active. We're at 1 hour and 3 minutes in flight.
Delta 7673 Heavy, contact Charlotte approach on 125.35.
Switching to Charlotte approach on 125.35. Delta 7673 Heavy. Charlotte approach, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon, flight level 190 for 16,000.
Delta 7673 Heavy, Charlotte approach. Expect the ILS runway 18 center approach into Charlotte.
Expecting the ILS runway 18 center approach into Charlotte. Delta 7673 Heavy.
So far, they have allowed us to just mosey on in without a lot of direction, but we'll see when we get to the Chile 6, the Chile waypoint. They might try to direct us around or give us a shorter cut, a shorter route. That's what ATC really does. I can even in say intentions, I can tell it to either allow it to do that or not. Allowing them to do it's more realistic because they do try to give you a better way sometime. Looking good out there. The clouds even really look nice. Just the sky itself, they've really been doing a good job on this sky, the way it looks. Delta 7673 Heavy requesting permission to continue our descent. I'd rather continue. We're on a good steady descent now, and according to our numbers here, we want to be, by the time we get to Neil's Heels, we want to be at 6,000 feet, and I just hate to have to slow down and be too high and have to try to make up for it at the
Delta
backside.
7673 Heavy, descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Turn left heading 210 vectors for the ILS runway 18 center approach.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Left heading 210 for the ILS runway 18 center approach. Delta 7673, heavy.
210. Millie, on the Airbus A350, do we need to enter any elevation information, or is that automatic?
On the Airbus A350, the altitude information is typically managed automatically by the flight management system. However, you should always verify that your altitude constraints are correctly set in the FMS, especially during approaches and departures. It's a good habit to double check.
Bounce, baby. No. There was a valley in our log.
I am not sure why he did this. Why he had us move over a little bit. Because I mean, all they did was basically have us like reposition our angle down to the last waypoint before we make a right turn. So I'm not sure why he did that. Right, we need nose lights. We need landing lights on.
As you can see, I'm very concerned about my
Emergency light should be. Oh, they weren't. They were in the right place. Okay. We're just now at 11,000, descending to 10,000. Xplane doesn't have built-in traffic. There are two sources where you can get traffic insertion. One is Traffic Global, and you can find that easily on their site, or World Traffic.
Delta 7673 heavy, turn right heading 255.
Turning right heading 255, Delta 7673 heavy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on our final approach into Charlotte. Please turn off all electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the gate. Ensure your tray tables are put away, your seats are in their full upright position, and your seat belts are fastened. The weather in Charlotte is quite pleasant, with a few clouds.
Delta 7673 heavy, descend and maintain 4,000 feet, turn left heading 245.
Thank you for your
Descend and
cooperation.
maintain 4,000, turn left heading 245, Delta 7673 heavy.
I really don't like what ATC is doing to us right now. They're cutting back on a lot of my waypoints, or like they're streamlining, trying to get us in, and I'm not really.
Delta 7673 heavy, proceed direct OZG, descend and maintain 3,000 feet until established on the localizer, cleared for the ILS runway 18 center approach.
Direct OZG, descend and maintain 3,000 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for ILS runway 18 center approach. Delta 7673 heavy.
Yeah, I think we could do that, but I'm just always nervous when he does that to us. Just don't like it. It's what ATC does. They're doing what they're supposed to.
hit someone. That hit someone. Yes.
I must show you this. So out here, you're looking at the Concord. This is the Paget Regional Airport, and I used to live about 6 miles from this airport. This is where most of the NASCAR, like when they're going to Charlotte, a lot of all of these are like race car drivers. Their garages and their teams are all over the place here. In fact, I think they're missing some of the buildings, but this is Concord Paget Regional. Allegiant flies a lot out of this airport. It's a nice airport. And it's literally a hop. It's like a 7,500 foot runway, but a 737-800 can easily get off on this runway. Take off there.
Stay in the box. No. Stay in the box. No. I have a bomb. Hi, Dusty.
See Charlotte.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Dusty.
Somewhere out there. Right. Go ahead and let's do one more landing brief, just so we know what we're doing.
Here's the landing brief, Steve. We'll be arriving in Charlotte on runway 18 center using the ILS approach. We'll be flying the Chile 6 arrival. Transition level is 18,000 feet. After the star, we'll intercept the ILS to runway 18 center. Weather at arrival shows winds 200 at 6 knots. Few clouds at 8,000 feet. No significant weather expected. In the event of a missed approach, we'll follow the published missed approach procedure. For any abnormalities, we'll communicate with ATC and execute a go-around or missed approach as needed. Squawk code remains 4373 and approach frequency will be 125.35. We'll configure for landing with flaps 30. Final approach speed will be 135 knots. Once on the ground, we'll be taxiing to gate, concourse B16X. I think we're ready for the arrival, Captain.
Delta 7673 Heavy, contact Charlotte Tower on 118.1.
Switching to Charlotte Tower on 118.1, Delta 7673 Heavy. Charlotte Tower, Delta 7673 Heavy. Good afternoon, established on the ILS runway 18 center approach.
Delta 76, 73, Heavy, Charlotte Tower, roger.
Lane clear. Oh, I missed my lane clear.
Delta 76, 73 Heavy, winds 200 at 6. Runway 18 center, cleared to land.
Cleared to land runway 18 center, Delta 7673 Heavy.
And he may have hosed us on the We have not. We've never captured, by the way.
Oh no, I deserve it because there's so many things that don't man crops. And there's 5 of them. I was 3 stuns, my ultimate, and like posting my ones.
Okay, so we've never captured. We're literally.
Retard, 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 retard.
Okay, so we never.
Delta 7673. Heavy, welcome to Charlotte. Contact ground on 121.8.
Switching to ground on 121.8, Delta 7673. Charlotte ground, Delta 7673 heavy. Good afternoon, cleared of runway, ready to taxi to the gate. Charlotte ground, Delta 7673 heavy. Good afternoon, cleared of runway, ready to taxi to the gate.
Alright, I won't say I'm proud of that landing.
Delta
But that
7673
was an
Heavy, Charlotte
ILS.
ground, taxi to Concourse B, Gate 16X via Echo 3, Echo Mike Bravo, Orange Line. Good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Charlotte. Did you know that Charlotte is known
16X
as
via
the
Echo
Queen
3,
City
Echo Mike
because it was
Bravo,
named
Orange
after
Line.
Queen
Delta
Charlotte.
7673 heavy.
Thank you for flying with Delta Airlines today. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until we reach our final parking position. On behalf of Captain Steve Good, First Officer, and the entire crew, we wish you a wonderful day. The local time here is 2:51 p.m.
We'll go back and watch a replay, but okay, so ILS never captured, or no way, it's not that it couldn't have. They inserted me back in the cycle, like right there. It's too late because I didn't have time. I mean, I was already below the glide scope, so I kind of had to make up for it, and I could have done a go around, but we'll go back and watch and see how it looked. I think we still have 4. We still have how many wheels? We still have 10 good tires. They're a little hot. Alright, let's brake on. Ground spoiler down. Yeah. Since I'm not here, it may not work. Let me see. Let's go back and look at a replay.
Where are y'all going?
Is that before it turned us? Yeah. So let's go back to the turn. So you see how he had us turning right here. That's crazy. And now he makes me have to like rush to lose some altitude.
Yes. Sure.
That is I-77. I-29. Air brakes. The ground spoilers are up. That's a good way to put it. Watch one more angle. Well, it was it's the hardest part is having like the sensation to know where the back wheels are, because it feels like you're so high up, you feel like you're not close to the ground, so that the temptation is to cut back your power too soon, and then you can create a problem where you just drop those back wheels and land hard. And how would that feel to a passenger? Let's see, one more. Alright, that was not awful. Not good, but not awful. Okay. Welcome to Charlotte. Let me show you this airport while we're here. I want to show you what it looks like inside.
I'm Apple.
I mean, that's a lot of detail they put in it right there. And that, also this section here I think is nicer. Yeah, here. So yeah, they did a lot of work on that to make it look nice. And just so you know where to find this information if you're looking for it, like if you go to like if I were to type in Xplane for Xplane.org. Let's go a different way. Okay, so the org store.xplane. Okay, so this is the Xplane store. And I don't get anything for showing you this, but I think it's good to know. So you were saying about India. So let me see. Think. You could probably, this is where you could actually go and start looking at all the different custom airports and just see what they look like.
I missed. I'm so upset.
How do they even know? That's a good question. No, it's you get when you've done hundreds, if not thousands, of landings, you know. You develop a sensation. That's why, when you see a pilot with 10 or 15,000 hours of flight time, and who's flown a lot, that's you just know. It's amazing how much they do or they know. We're on the Xplane store right here. I'm going to go to Nimbus. Where's Nimbus? Well, I thought I would find some of their just straight airports, but scenery by country. There we go. Let's go to India.
I tried to flick that, it didn't work.
All right, sorry. Not as well. It's not as many I see on the store, but there's Kempegowda, India. But I also know that a lot of the airports, like if it's a major airport in Xplane, they've paid attention to it, so you'll see a lot of familiar things at that airport.
Connor, yeah.
Oh,
well.
yeah, that last step there. Hey, man, I hope everybody has a good day. Things are kind of shut down a little bit in Greensboro, North Carolina. We've got about 10.5 inches of snow on the ground, so things move a little bit slower when that's the case here. So anyway, I hope everybody has a good day. But by the way, just so you know, the aircraft that we're just flying on, let's go find it in the airline store. So I'm going to go find Airbus A350, and I'll show you the aircraft I was just flying. Make sure this is the right one. Hold on. Let me, before I say this is the one, I'm just making sure. Mine is the Flight Factor Aero 7 A350 Airbus -900. Yeah, this is it. Flight Factor Aero A350. So this is the right one. And a lot of the reviews on it, I think, are fairly good. It's been out for a while, though. I was looking at when it was first released. And I think it's been a while. Let's see how version history. Yeah, this one goes back, like I noticed here, there's 22, but I know I saw a guy that was reviewing it 5 years ago. There was actually a review on YouTube from a guy reviewing this one, and so the A350's been out for a while, but it seems to it's been good. They did a great job when you have Tullus and Flight Factor, two heavy hitters. It's neat to see what they can put together. So it's neat, right? So if you're looking for one, and there's the price. So I'm just kind of really unveiling it. So the price for this aircraft is $64.95 from Xplane, and I've owned it for a while, but I've just let it sit and haven't spent a whole lot of time flying with it, and it honestly is a great aircraft. Some other ones, by the way, if you're looking for some, by the way, I do recommend this. If you're just getting started, stick to the free ones for a while. Get good. Like I think I've got Web Solution. You're on the you're flying the 737. Which one's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? But if you're on the 737-800 Zebo model, it's free. It's it's a great one to learn on and spend some time on it. And then if you want to go later and find you an Airbus, find one of the Airbuses you want. One of my favorite Airbuses is the A321neo. Where is it? A321. There, here it is. So that's the Neo. But once again, you look. These are going to cost. So why not spend some time on the free ones, and then once you get to that point where you're ready to say, okay, I've got this one down, you can go to the next one, but stick to the free one for a while. The 737-800 is amazing. It's a great one. And then there's a lot of free aircraft built into Xplane. The general aviation typically they spend more time on them, I think, than they do than the designers get in there and make the aircraft, the commercial aircraft. And so, but that's just an idea. Anyway, the site though, that's store.x-plane.org. But if you just Google Xplane store, you'll find it. And then the forum has a lot, like tons of free stuff on it for you to go to. If you just want to spend some time in the forum, this here is the portal for the forum, and it's forums.xplane.org. And once again, all these downloads in this one are free. And there are a lot of free aircraft here also, so that's just a good resource if you're just getting started. Right. Well, I hope everybody has a good day. Thanks for just jumping in, and I'll probably do a more familiar flight a little bit later, but it's been neat. It's been a good flight with the this is the Flight Factor Aero A350 Airbus, and it's made by a combination of Tullus and Flight Factor. All right. I will see y'all on the next flight.